Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Give me a second while I get Instagram started. Mm, Worried about copyrights. Okay. Happy Tuesday, everybody. All right. And here we go. Hey, everybody. We're getting started in 5 minutes. I'm giving y'all about 5 minutes to come on into the room and get comfortable. Hey, Fluffy Choco Drop, what's going on, girl? How you doing, Drea? Hey, Diamond Sweat Aquafina. I hope you guys have had a great first week of 2024. I hope that you're starting to work on your resolutions or whatever goals you have for the year already, and I wish you good luck in doing that. Today, I'm real excited about the show. We've got some fun stuff. Ooh, excuse me. We are going to be talking about your favorite breakfast cereals. So if you know somebody who's into cereal, bring them on in. We are going to talk about Cat Williams' infamous interview on Club Shay Shay. That was craziness. We are also going to talk about there's already problems with the Steamboat Willie that's come out in public domain. So we're going to talk about that. You love cereal. What's your favorite cereal, King J Good? Hey, Miss Whitney. What else? We are also going to talk about French Montana. Usually I feel like French Montana, he don't bother nobody, but in this case, I don't think he's as good of a guy as we think he is, or at least a non-offensive person as we think he is. Florida, as usual, is being crazy. So we've got a funny story about them. Somebody tried to come for Meta/Facebook's pockets. And if we have time, we're going to talk about Naruto. Do we have any anime fans here? If you're a fan of anime and you know what Naruto is, give me an N in the comments, okay? So we are going to get started at 8:05. While we wait for that, just to give you guys an update, Applejacks, you heard about the Steamboat Willie? Okay. Just to give you guys an update from last week. Last week, I updated you on why I had been gone for so long. This week, I'm happy to say that I got my last drain out, and I'm well on my way. I did have a little setback. I ended up in the ER last week, but for dehydration and exhaustion. But, had my mom here and I'm back on the mend and, we're moving forward. So just, take care of yourselves, guys. Okay. You've been off IG for like a year. Thank you, Drea. All right. So we are going to start our intro at 8:05. My mom's still here. She'll be heading out. Girl, she's out. She's over here making noise. But my mom, she's going to be heading out at the end of the week. She's been here for almost a month taking care of me. I'm so grateful and I'm so appreciative to have had her here with me. It has really been a blessing. So thank you, Mama. Am I in Florida? No, I am not in Florida. I am located in the state of Maryland, King Jacob. Okay. All right. Yes, because she's here making noise in the corner and trying to give me notes. And I'm like, lady, the video is going. Hi, Mrs. Queen Lady T. Um, all right. So it is 8:05. So let's do our intro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Tuesday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts and using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time seeing my face or hearing my voice, my name is Natalie Pierre Lewis. I am a licensed attorney, have been one for almost 20 years. And I have had many careers in the realms of law, entrepreneurship, admin support, and hospitality. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be in the business realm, there are just some things that you need to know. There's no way around it, okay? So that is why what I do. And part of why I do this show is to teach you those rules using real world concepts. Taking your favorite celebrities, taking hot news stories, and putting them in perspective with the rules that you need to know. Okay. So that is what I do. So if in 2024 you guys are trying to start a business, level up your business, make it legal. So what I help you with is I help you get your articles of incorporation, get your EIN and DUNS numbers, and now your UEI numbers, aka SAMI numbers, as well. Making sure you have contract templates for clients and partners, securing your intellectual property through trademarks and copyrights, and avoiding lawsuits by having streamlined hiring and training policies. Okay, I help you do all of this and more. As I said, I am a licensed attorney. I have been one for almost 20 years, and I really enjoy helping creatives and entrepreneurs make their dreams a reality. So if you want to work with me this year, go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. I do provide free 15-minute consultations for first-time clients. Yeah, and I also have Talk to Me Tuesday, where you can get a 35-minute session. Well, no, it's a 30-minute session for $35. All right. So that's enough of me shilling my wares. Again, the premise of this show is teaching you business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. Today, we are talking about a lot of stuff, some of which you've heard, some of which you haven't. But before we even get to that, I want to talk about some things that I saw in the news that aren't necessarily related to business, but that really caught my eye, be it for good or bad. One of the first things that I wanted to talk to y'all about is I did not know that people were out here making fake bank statements. There was an account that followed me last week after the show, and I was looking at who followed me, and they apparently doctor up bank statements and checking accounts and all this stuff. And I'm just like, this is what y'all doing in 2024? This is how you guys are trying to scam and come up? No. All right. Like, look, I understand that times are hard, but no. If y'all are doing that, I want y'all to stop right now. Um, Second, did y'all see King J Good said yes. I know a few people who do. King J Good, I hope you're not utilizing their services. Blink, blink, blink. All right. Next thing I wanted to just briefly touch on was, did y'all see that video with the Las Vegas judge? Hey, Canna Cape Cod, DC. Um, Canna Cape Cod, DC is about to embark on a really incredible social media experiment. I want you guys to go follow her and see what's going on over at her creator's house. It's going to be really fun. Um, King J Good said, "Oh, definitely no." Oh, wait, who's trying to come on? No, I'm not. Oh, not yet. Canna Cape Cod, DC. Right now, we're doing the intro. Did y'all see that man fly over the bench and tackle that woman like he was some quarterback? I don't know what position they play on the field. Craziness. Now I was on social media and I saw people, You want to talk about it? Okay. All right. Let me bring you on here to talk about it real quick. Okay. I'm bringing Kenna Cape Cod up, and she wants to talk about launched himself like a rocket at that lady.
I'm sorry I jumped the gun, honey, but
It's okay.
when you said the judge that was insane.
Oh my gosh. I was like I laughed, but I was also like in fear. Like, can you imagine being a judge on your bench and some person just
No, I cannot. No, I cannot. And that would be the last day that I was a judge. First of all, everybody in that courtroom needs to be fired.
Yes, because they weren't
There
doing
was
anything.
too many steps for him to get to
Yes.
before he got to me as the
Right.
judge. And nobody is on my team tomorrow. Nobody that was in that room is on my team tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Did you see how they brought him to the courtroom after for his resentencing?
I did.
They had him looking like Hannibal Lecter.
I did, yeah. And at that point, he almost had to be, made an example of at that point. But did you see the extended version? Like a minute later, they were still screaming, "Get off of her."
Yeah. King J. Good said Judge Judy said in her court he would have been shot.
I mean,
I believe it. But just a word to the wise, guys. When you go in someone's courtroom, the courtroom is the judge's house. They can do whatever they want. So even if you are displeased with the whatever they're saying, keep your hands in your pockets and your feet on the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So I just wanted to talk about those two quick things.
Okay, I'll let you get started. I'll come back later when it's time.
Okay, all right. All right. So thank you for coming on. Or how do I I think you have to put yourself out. Okay, there we go. What a Fluffy Choco Drop said, imagine him on the street if he was triggered like that in court. So from what I was reading, he is schizophrenic bipolar and he was not being given his meds while he was incarcerated. Now that does not excuse his behavior, but it may explain it. Now I have no stake in this game, but that's what I was reading. Okay. And I feel like you got to be a little touched in the head if you think that you're going to get away with launching your body, like a catapult at a judge. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our first story of the evening. All right. I need like I said, this year, I want more interaction. I want to, talk to you guys more. So I'm bringing you people on live. So, make sure you camera ready. And by camera ready, I just mean, just be clean and have some clothes on. Okay. All right. So my first story has to do with cereal. So if you are a cereal lover and you want to talk about cereal with me, give me a rainbow emoji and then I will see who wants to come on up. Okay. But while we do that, I'm going to give you I'm going to ask you guys give me in the comments, give me some of your favorite cereals. Give me your top 3 favorite cereals right now in the comments. And then those who want to come on and talk about this cereal story with me, give me a rainbow in the comments so I can choose someone to come on up. And you don't have to, it's fine. We can just talk about it this way, but I just think it's more fun, like when Nicole came up here and we're talking. But just let me know. Give me your top 3 cereals that you love. And if you want to come on and talk to me about this cereal story, give me a rainbow emoji. Okay. And I'll wait for those cereal brands. Fluffy Choco Drop said Kix, Pops, and granola. What kind of granola cereal? There's like tons of granola. Candy Cape Cod said Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Miss Whitney said Captain Crunch. Rhonda said Honey Nut Cheerios. Is anybody here a fan or was a fan? Because we getting older, we can't really take all that sugar these days. Is anybody here, maybe when they were younger, a fan of Fruity Pebbles? If you were a Candy Cake, I keep it healthy with oat milk. Look, oat milk is the bomb. Okay, Planet Oats line of products, like their milk, their ice cream, their creamer. Oh, delicious. Okay. Fluffy Choco Drop said vanilla granola clusters, no brand. Okay, so Miss Whitney was a fan of Fruity Pebbles. Rhonda said no. I was never really a fan of Fruity Pebbles. I liked Cocoa Pebbles, but not Fruity Pebbles. But Fruity Pebbles recently, or Post, I should say, because Post is the company that owns Fruity Pebbles or makes Fruity Pebbles. Post recently tried to trademark, you love Fruity Pebbles, tried to trademark the color scheme of their cereal. So, when we think of Fruity Pebbles, I'm thinking of these multicolored little rice things. And they were trying to trademark this rainbow colored puffed rice as a trademark. How many of y'all think they succeeded? Confetti. How many of y'all think that Fruity Pebbles was successful in trademarking the color scheme of their cereal as proprietary? They're saying that rainbow colored cereal, that's us. Give me a yes or a no. What do you think? Confetti? Is there a cereal called confetti? Roy G. Biv. Yeah. What Can of Cape Cod said, knock it off. That is exactly what the court told them, right? For Post Cereal was like, hey, we are the rainbow colored cereal in town, and we should be able to trademark it, right? So right now, I want you guys to give me examples of other rainbow colored cereals that you know of right now that are active in this day and age, besides Fruity Pebbles. What is another rainbow colored cereal out there? I'm thinking you got Lucky Charms. You've got, what else? I really only eat Raisin Bran and like Frosted Flakes. So, hey, Little Rock FKMC. Little Rock FKMC, are you a cereal? Are you a Fruity Pebbles fan? Rhonda said Fruit Loops. Miss Whitney said Fruit Loops. That's right, Fruit Loops. We got Fruit Loops. We got Lucky Charms. There are so many cereals out there that have rainbow colors. Why would Post Cereal think that they had a shot at trademarking rainbow colors for their cereal? Captain Crunch? Okay. Well, either way, the trademark office said, girl, you tripping. There's so many rainbow colored cereals out here. Now, I understand the idea behind it. Certain brands have colors that are attributed to them. When we think of the Tiffany's jeweler, you have that Tiffany blue. When we think of Victoria's Secret, they have that shade of pink. When you think of Starbucks, they have that shade of green, right? Certain companies, certain industries, they have colors that represent them. It is very hard. It is very, very hard to trademark the entire rainbow for anything because the rainbow represents so much out there. Can you guys give me three things other than cereal that the rainbow represents? Because they're basically trying to trademark the rainbow color scheme, but it's cereal. Give me three other things, or give me other examples where rainbow colors are a representative. We have, like, one thing I can think of, we have the LGBTQIA flag, which is rainbow colored. Thank you, Fluffy Choco Drop. You and me, we see right here. Anybody else? There was unicorns. Yes, y'all remember Rainbow Bright with the hair and everything. There's so many things out there that use rainbows. I don't understand. I don't know what they were doing over at Post. But you know, they lost that trademark battle, obviously, and they and my little, not really My Little Pony, but Fruity Pebbles, they were doing too much. Sorry. Okay. All right. Next story we are talking about. Look, everybody has been talking about this since last week. How many of you guys watched the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay? Whether you watched clips or you watched the entire 2 hour plus interview. How many of you guys watched the Cat Williams interview with, what's that man's name? Shannon Sharp. How many of you guys watched the interview with Shannon Sharp? Hey, New Haitian. Miss Whitney watched it. Fluffy Choco Drop. Give us some. What is this? Oh, the cat. Okay, you watch Cat. Little Rock said it was epic. Okay, so there were a couple of things that I took away from that interview. One, when Cat Williams said that he had been sued by Disney in uh in the early 2000s because his initial name stage, he said, was Cat in the Hat, KATT in the Hat, right? um Now he said he'd been using that name since the 90s, and then Disney comes in around 2010 and says, hey, you can't use this. We got license to this, right? Now, what I want you to know is that Disney does not own the Cat in the Hat. What it was that Disney had a license from the company that owns the intellectual property for Dr. Seuss, and they had a TV show. It was a preschool series that was called The Cat in the Hat. So that was how Disney made their way into, or had the right to send a cease and desist to Cat Williams. They were like, hey, we have already paid for licensing from Seuss, Dr. Seuss Enterprises, to have our show called The Cat in the Hat. This is a children's preschool show. No, sir, you cannot use this name. And Cat Williams wasn't even making that much money. Now they are in two separate lanes. Cat Williams is a comedian. Disney was doing a preschool television show. Why do you think they were so concerned about Cat Williams using the name Cat in the Hat on stage? Why do you think? Even though they were in different arenas, Cat's doing stand up, Disney's doing a preschool show. Why were they worried about him using that name on stage? Hello, do me Sianda. Hmm? Why do you think? Does anybody want to come on and talk about this story with me? I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. Anybody want to come on and give me their opinion? If you do, give me a cat emoji like Ken of Cape Cod did, and I'll bring you on. Why are people so picky? Rhonda, because it's about brand, it's about preserving your brand. Okay. When you think of Cat Williams, tell me 3 words you think of. Well, actually, no. When you think of Cat Williams is a comedian. He uses profanity. He talks about, a lot of, not safe for work topics, or topics that you wouldn't talk about in front of children, right? And then you have Canada Cape Cod said pimp, short, funny. Yes. Right. And then you have Disney over here that does, family friendly programming, stuff for children. They do not want they don't want confusion. Disney's like, we have a very clean reputation. Cat is over here doing his own thing. I am a boy, Damon. Cat is over here doing his own thing, right? And because it sounds the same, even though it's not written the same, there could be a false association, and our brands do not align, right? So Disney said, Cat, you got to change your name. And so, Cat was not making enough money to go up against Disney. And I don't even know if Cat has money to go up against Disney today, because Disney has all the money. But he had to change his stage name, and he just decided to go with his regular name. And I actually think that was for the best. So understand that while you can have the same name in different industries, you also have to be aware of brand dilution, especially when you have a big brand like the Cat in the Hat. The Cat in the Hat was everywhere, right? And because Cat Williams, yes, he's a famous comedian, but he has a niche, right? I would s- I wouldn't say that Cat Williams is known worldwide. But we know that Disney and Cat in the Hat is known worldwide, right? So they want to make sure that there is no confusion out there with this family friendly brand and this blue comedian. So they went after Cat. All right. Another thing that also because Dr. Seuss Enterprises, they are the owners of the intellectual property for Cat in the Hat, right? They pride themselves on being a wholesome brand. As a matter of fact, they have even retired content that was published that they felt was racist and xenophobic. So they're like, we made some mistakes in the past, but we're not even putting that out in the atmosphere anymore. We are a wholesome, family friendly brand, and Cat Williams, we can't have you associated with us. So understand that there can be, depending on how big the brand is and how ubiquitous the knowledge of that brand is, how worldwide, you even if you're in a different industry, you might be stepping on some toes. So you want to be very careful about how you choose to represent your brand out in the marketplace. Hello, Miss One Tam. Okay. Another thing that struck me in the interview was Cat Williams talking about all these people stealing jokes, right? Why do you think it's so easy to steal jokes? Why do you think it's so easy for comedians to steal jokes? Why do you think it's so easy to steal jokes? You understand, Rhonda? Okay, cool. I'm glad. Why do you think it's so easy for comedians to steal jokes? Anybody want to give it a guess? Y'all don't want to come up and talk about Cat Williams with me? Because you Cape Cod, DC. Yes, absolutely. The reason why it's so easy to steal jokes is because you cannot copyright them, especially one-liners, right? Usually, a comedian, if you have a joke that's maybe 4 lines, the copyright laws do not allow you to copyright jokes. However, you can copyright a monologue. So that is why more and more you will find comedians who have these long stories rather than joke after joke after joke after joke. It'll be a whole monologue. So they will have that whole piece that they will copyright as a work of art as opposed to the individual jokes, right? Now, when all of these jokes that Cat Williams was saying were stolen, this was, in the 90s and stuff. And we just weren't as concerned about intellectual property, 30, 20, whatever, how many years ago. So a lot of people, I've heard of a lot of comedians who steal jokes. And that's why these days you're more likely to find comedians who are doing long monologue stories that, lead into each other rather than individual jokes. Okay. So, if you are, an aspiring comedian, I encourage you to, make sure that it is a very robust set. That it is something that is a cohesive body of work that you will be able to copyright either as a video. Maybe you record your own stand-up special, or I don't know, you write down the words and copyright it as a piece of written prose. Okay. All right. So before we move on to our next stories, I just want to do a quick reset. You are watching NPL Legal Dish. This is my Tuesday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the market to start, level up, or pivot your business in the new year, I am a business attorney and I would love to help you. I help with business formation, intellectual property, securing your intellectual property, contracts, getting your paperwork in order so that you can grow and scale with confidence. My friends out there who want to get their products into big box stores, you can't do that unless you have your paperwork in order. My friends out there who want to get into federal contracting, you can't do that without your paperwork. And those of you who want to become worldwide brands, you're going to need to secure those brands with trademarks and copyrights. All right. So hit me up, go to linktr.ee/NPL consulting firm and book a free consultation with me today. Okay. All right. Moving into something we talked about last week. Oh, thank you, Fluffy Choco Drop. You can watch the second half after it's over. So last week we talked about how Disney's very first iteration of Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, has entered the public domain. Steamboat Willie, you are now free to make your crafts, your tumblers, your t-shirts, your keychains of Steamboat Willie, right? But of course, some people don't understand what the public domain of Steamboat Willie entails, and they're already getting into trouble. So there is a YouTuber by the name of Brock Baker. Okay. Brock Baker took the entire Steamboat Willie video. It's only 8 minutes. It's an 8-minute film. He reposted it on his YouTube. And what he did was he dubbed over all of the what do you call this? All the lines, and he did them himself. So instead of it being Mickey talking, it was Brock Baker, and he just had the music in the background, right? At first, Disney tried to take down the whole video, but then they were like, "Hey, it's in public domain." They had demonetized it. They said it was in the public domain, so they had to remonetize it. Then they came back and hit him with another copyright strike, and it stuck. Why? Because Brock Baker used the original music from the Steamboat Willie film. Steamboat Willie himself, the character, the mouse, that is what is in the public domain. The music of that film is not in the public domain. That is owned by Universal Music Group. So Brock Baker did not understand that while he could play, Steamboat Willie all day long, you can't use the music. He could have maybe done it if he had done his own music and overlaid it and then done his own lines. He might have gotten away with it, but he used the original music from the Steamboat Willie movie. So it wasn't the visuals that got him in trouble, it was the audio. All right. So understand that with this Steamboat Willie in the public domain, that only refers to the character and the way he looks. Okay. It does not refer to any audio or any music that was used in the film. So people have to really be careful out there and understand what public domain actually means. Okay. All right. This next story, I want somebody to come up with me. If we have any French Montana fans in the house, please come on up. Do we have any French Montana fans in the house? If you are a French Montana fan, give me get okay. Okay, cool. If you're a French Montana fan, somebody don't do that, Little Rock. Candy Cape Cod, you want to be on? Wait, Candy Cape Cod, is that a yes or a no? Because I see the request coming in and out, coming in and out. Who wants to come on and talk about French Montana? It keeps coming in and out. All right, I'm just gonna bring you on and see what happens. Are you coming? Is this working? Hey, hello again.
You know that's my favorite rapper. Knock it off. What are you doing? What the boy do now?
Listen, I had to give somebody else a shot. I can't, it can't just be the me and you show.
It's me and you. What do you do?
Okay. So, French Montana's song, I ain't worry about nothing. Nigga, I ain't worry about nothing.
Right?
Okay. With that need. Right? So that, say what you want about French Montana. The man makes hits, right? Ain't Worried About Nothing came out in 2013, right?
Yes.
a another artist by the name of Hotwire the producer sued French Montana for copyright infringement because he said French Montana ripped off his music. He had done this whole instrumental, um, you know, and I guess French Montana heard it, thought it was cool, and made Ain't Worry About Nothing. And you know, the rest is history. That song has probably garnered him several $1,000,000, right? Now, remember last week, I told you guys that there are 6 different types of copyright. I'm going to go over it briefly. If you want a more in-depth thing, you're going to have to watch last week's show. We talked about public performance, mechanical license, sync license, print license, master recording, and a blanket license, right?
Absolutely, I remember.
Yes. So Hotwire, the producer, he got a sound recording copyright for his song. The song was called Hood Push and Wait. It was an instrumental. He got a sound recording copyright. What he did not get was a copyright for the underlying instrumentality of the song, right? So basically, French Montana heard the recording, said, "This is dope." I guess, what do you what's that word? Did it himself, basically copied it with his own style and made Ain't Worry About Nothing. So and there's no dispute that Hotwire the producer actually created this song Hood Push and Wait, right? The problem is that Hotwire the producer only got a copyright for the sound recording and not the underlying musical composition. So French Montana won that lawsuit on a technicality, and the judge actually said to French Montana, "You should not really consider this a victory." And you know, she was sympathetic to Hotwire the producer, but she's like, "Bro, you don't have the correct copyright, so I really can't help you here." So this is why it is very important for you to protect your works of art, your music, your books 360. Make sure you have everything covered, because this man probably could have got several $1,000,000 from French Montana plus any residuals, because we know how much you play French Montana, Nicole. So imagine, you know, think about the streaming dollars. Okay, so my musicians out there, when you are copywriting your work, you want to make sure that you not only copyright the sound recording, but the underlying musical composition, meaning the notes, the instruments used, the syncopate, the pacing, all of that stuff matters, because this man, Hotwire the producer, I know he is kicking himself right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Have you heard it? Have you heard his version of it?
I have not, because I was busy with stuff. I'm going to look it up. If somebody wants to send me Hood Push and Wait by Hotwire the producer, you know, just send it to my inbox. But yeah, but this is just a word to the wise out there. You need to protect your intellectual property all the way around. All right. Hey, 76 Grimke. We just talked about Cat Williams, 76 Grimke. You missed it. All right. Hello, pretty one. Oh, pretty one. Okay, that's cute. Okay. All right. So French Montana won on a technicality. Usually I'm like, you know, French Montana don't bother nobody, but this makes me look at him kind of sideways, because you knew what you were doing.
Did he?
French Montana's a producer. French Montana, he is a producer. I remember 50 Cent was beefing with French Montana and was saying, "You just a producer, you're not a rapper," and was saying that he wasn't gonna make it. So French Montana knows about production. He knows about, you know, how protecting your music works.
Get away with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a little shady. That's shady.
A lot of bit shady.
What Giselle and them say, borderline shady. What is it? Kind of shady.
Reasonably shady.
Reasonably. That's reasonably shady. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about your favorite artist, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna still stay and listen to the rest. All right.
Okay, thanks. All right. So next story we are talking about has to do with the Florida school system. Anybody want to come up here and talk about the Florida school system with me? Particularly if you have children in homeschool. Nicole, you cannot come back up here, okay? You can't be up here for every story. I know your kids are homeschool. But anybody want to come up here and talk to me about the Florida school system? Because the floor a Florida school system really tried it, and the judge basically cursed them out. Nobody wants to talk about the Florida school system. I wouldn't either because Florida's a mess. Anyway, we all know that with the pandemic and quarantine, the rise of homeschooled children really skyrocketed, right? One of the more well-known homeschool companies is K-12 Inc. They're like a nationwide private company known for their homeschool programs. Well, in Florida, there is a government-funded online school called Florida Virtual School, and they tried to trademark. Wait, didn't I mention the little boy was 15? What little boy was 15? Who was 15? Um, Hold on. I need to know who was 15 before I move on to this Florida story. How I didn't know he was 15. I did not. See, that makes it even worse. You ripped off a child. That's probably why he didn't know, because he was a kid. This is why these kids, they need guidance. They need guidance, okay? All right. Moving on to this Florida story. So, Florida has a government funded online school called the Florida Virtual School. And they were trying for years to trademark the phrase Florida online school. What do y'all think about that? This government funded virtual school was trying to trademark the phrase Florida online school. What do you think about that? Hmm? Do you think they should have wasted or do you think they should have paid that application money to try and trademark Florida online school? Hmm? What do you guys think? Now, this has been a lawsuit that has been going on for years. Florida Virtual School has been trying to get millions out of K-12 Inc. I guess because they've used the phrase Florida Online School because they service, all the 50 states. Um, no, 76 Grimke said nope. Uh, yeah, so not only did Florida Virtual School lose this trademark battle, the judge, because they took it to court, it was a whole lawsuit. The judge called them a trademark bully and basically said this lawsuit was not worth the money it was printed on, that it was frivolous. Um, and because this is a government funded online school, the judge said this was a waste of taxpayer money. They have been trying to sue K-12 Inc. for the last few years for millions of dollars for use of the phrase Florida online school. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are trademarking something, you need to make sure that it is not generic. You cannot trademark something that is generic, right? So like, if you work in the hair industry, you cannot trademark comb. If you work in the power tools industry, you cannot trademark hammer. If you are a virtual school in Florida, you cannot trademark Florida online school. So the judge said, you've been wasting taxpayer money. This lawsuit is a joke. You've lost. Okay. So Florida online school um, is, as it should be, a generic phrase that anybody can use if they are running an online school. Now, I know Canna Cape Cod, DC. She, her kids are homeschooled. Does anybody else here homeschool their kids or do virtual schooling with their kids? Let me know in the comments. I think it's crazy. Like I've heard of K-12 Inc. I've never heard of Florida Virtual School. So I think it's hilarious that this even went anywhere. But yeah, so you cannot trademark generic phrases, ladies and gentlemen. You want your brand to stand out in the marketplace. Okay. Um, Moving on to our next story of actually, these are our last two stories of the evening. Let me just do a quick reset. Thank you all for joining. You are watching NPL Legal Dish. You do K-12. Okay. Yeah, they tried to sue them, girl. Yes, this is NPL Legal Dish. This is my Tuesday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are if you are looking to start, pivot, or grow your business in the new year, I'm your girl. I'm a licensed attorney with a passion for helping entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. Go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm and book your free 15-minute consultation today. Okay. All right. Our next story. How many of y'all use them little tree car fresheners? You know, the ones that are shaped like a Christmas tree? How many of y'all, if you use those, give me a tree emoji in the comments. Okay. If you use those, give me a tree emoji in the comments. Hmm. The little trees, and they have like there's like the black ice, and give me your favorite scent that you like in the little trees. What's your favorite scent? What is your favorite scent in the little trees? Is Miss Whitney here? Because I know she is a black ice fanatic. Um, what else? I don't know what other things there are. Um, Let me know what your favorite scents are in the little trees. Right? We all know that those little trees, that is a well-recognized brand, right? The company that owns them is called Car Freshener Corp. Very good name. And recently they 76 Grimke said linen and black ice. Linen sounds nice. Um anyway, so Car Freshener Corp, they've got all their I's dotted and T's crossed, right? They've got their trademarks and people recognize that brand, right? So let's put that to the side for a minute. How many of you guys have ever purchased anything on Facebook Marketplace? If you have ever purchased anything on Facebook Marketplace, give me a $sign in the comments. If you've ever purchased anything on Facebook Marketplace. Canada Cape Cod, DC, you've purchased stuff. What have you purchased on there, Canada Cape Cod, DC? What have you purchased on there? While y'all tell me what you purchased on there or if you purchased on there. So recently on Facebook Marketplace, someone was selling knockoff car fresheners. They were selling knockoff little tree car fresheners, right? So Car Freshener Corp found out about this, and of course they went after the vendor. She purchased tables and chairs. Okay. Propane heaters, dining room table, but y'all buy some big furniture on there. Well, somebody was selling car fresheners and somebody bought it, right? Or people were buying it. And they were selling counterfeit or unauthorized tree air fresheners. Car Freshener got a wind of it. They went after this person, but not only did they go after this person, they tried to sue Meta or Facebook as well. Why do you think the Car Freshener Corp tried to sue Facebook Marketplace and not just the person who was selling the unauthorized car fresheners? Why do you think Car Freshener Corp went after Facebook and not just the person who was selling these unauthorized car deodorizers on Facebook Marketplace? Why do y'all think? Why do you think they went after Facebook? Any guesses? I'm gonna give y'all. That's right, Candy. See, you be listening. You be listening, girl. Meta has deep pockets. How much? I don't know how much Meta is worth. Maybe somebody could look it up real quick. But Meta has what I'm sure Meta has way more money than the person who was selling knockoff car fresheners in Facebook Marketplace. So Car Freshener Corp tried to take Meta to court and they lost. Why did they lose? Because the judge said Meta, meaning the platform, they did not use your trademark. They were not out here advertising the car freshener. Somebody went on their platform and said, "Hey, I got them car fresheners for the low low." All right, and was using the trademark. Meta ain't had nothing to do with it. It's like when you go, "Hey, throw me DJ." It's like when you go on if you go on Etsy and people are selling knockoff stuff, right? If you put a if you send some type of intellectual property notice to Etsy, they'll just take it down, but you're not going to be able to sue Etsy because they're not the ones selling the product. They are just providing a marketplace for people to buy things. So Car Freshener tried to go for the deep pockets of Meta, and they lost. So and I think it's so funny because the other day, I was at the gas station and this little boy was selling car fresheners. I thought they were the little trees, but he said there was some homemade stuff. And I was like, "Well, do you have black ice?" He was like, "No, but I got this one." Um, and it was like, I don't know. It was a different one. It was a totally different style, different thing. But um it doesn't matter. It Not that it doesn't matter. When you are selling your things online, the vendor or the platform, they're not responsible for you selling knockoff items unless somebody said, "Hey, they're doing it," and they don't take it down. If somebody has reported them and they just let them rock, then that's something different. But if somebody is just on Facebook Marketplace selling, and I see them people all the time, they be selling the Nike sweatsuits and all that stuff and talking about DM for prices. Um, yeah, but they're not. The Facebook Marketplace itself is not, causing this infringement. These people are just using the platform to sell these knockoff items. So Meta was able to successfully, dodge that infringement lawsuit from the Car Freshener Corp. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions before we move on to the last story of the evening? It'll be very, very quick. Any questions? If not, give me a thumbs up if we can move on because we're coming up on an hour. I know last week we ran a little long. I'd like to keep it at an hour this week. Y'all good? Are we good? Are we good? Mm, mm. Okay. Thanks, guys. All right. So how many of y'all have heard of the anime called Naruto? If you have heard of Naruto, thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Give me an N in the comments, okay? Um, I'm not a big anime fan, but I've heard of Naruto, and I have seen a ton of merch all over the place. I saw the other day on Amazon. I saw they had matching do-rag and bonnet sets in the Naruto with the Naruto pattern on it. And I thought it was really cute. Well, the people who handled Naruto's intellectual property are fed up because there are tons of vendors out here selling knockoff or unauthorized Naruto merchandise. We all know that people love their anime merch. They love repping their set, whether it's Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, whatever you want to call it. But there's also people out here trying to make a buck off the knockoff version. And just like Disney, that don't play about their intellectual property, neither does Naruto. Now, the problem is Naruto is suing these online vendors, and it is usually very difficult. Really, Toby? Y'all see how he do me? He don't even pay no bills. He won't even let me work. Yes, but just like Disney, Naruto, they are very proprietary over their brand. but they are suing online vendors who it can be very hard to find them. Some of them are out of the country. Some of them, they're hiding behind, different paywalls and names and things like that. Um, so while they have filed these lawsuits against a bunch of different vendors, nobody has responded. So, I mean, they could get a default judgment, but they're not really going to be able to do anything if they can't find the people who are actually selling the merchandise. Now, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't file the lawsuit, because as an intellectual property owner, it is your job to zealously defend your brand. So if you know somebody is out there using your brand without your permission, it is your job to go to the governing body and say, hey, this is happening. I don't like it. Tell them to stop. Right. So while they may not necessarily be able to find these merchants, they have at least established the fact that you must be an authorized Naruto merchandise seller if you're going to be selling online. And so that's why these lawsuits against these online vendors often happen, because you are required to zealously defend your brand. Otherwise, you run the risk of it becoming generic and then you lose your protection. Okay. So, those were the stories that I had for you this evening. We talked about Fruity Pebbles trying to trademark the rainbow. We talked about Cat Williams and the Cat in the Hat. We talked about Steamboat Willie and people already getting, the public domain confused. We talked about French Montana ripping off a 15-year-old. We talked about Florida being Florida. And someone trying to come from Meta's pockets, and off-brand Naruto merch. So, does anybody have any questions about what we covered this evening? Okay, you can put your questions in the box, and I will answer them. But I'm gonna, do my wrap up, and so that we can get up, go do what we have to do. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. I saw some new faces. I saw some, OGs, my unofficial official writing squad 76 Grimke, who be in my inbox sending me stories. Thank you to everybody who watched, whether you watched for a minute or you watched for the entire hour. I thank you. Having you guys engage with me, it's really fun and I appreciate it. If you need any help with your business, meaning forming your business, getting your contracts in order, intellectual property, hiring and training strategies, and much more, that is what I do. I would love to work with you. Go to linktr.ee/NPL consulting firm and book yourself a free consultation. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions, we can end here for tonight. So I don't see any questions popping up in the box. So I think we're good. So I'm going to say good night to you guys. Drink your water, take care of yourselves. And I will see you next week. If you have any stories that you want to send me, please send them to my inbox. I love when you guys send me stories to my inbox. It lets me know that you're engaged and it lets me know what you want to talk about. Okay. So this is where I leave you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.